thrive, you'll always be ready to seize the moment when inspiration strikes. Make the most of this opportunity during Mazda's season of inspiration. Get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months and no payments for 90 days.
Peacock's got the new season of Yellowstone.
Every road leads right here.
New faces.
We're gonna have to get dirty.
New foes.
That land is mine.
New feuds.
You think you're winning this game? You ain't know the rules.
Old scars.
I won't betray you.
New threats.
We have big plans for this valley.
And all 3 seasons. That's why you can't not watch.
This valley is mine. Come and get it. I plan to.
Streaming now at PeacockTV.com.
Get back to you again with Slim Fast. Shed those newfound pounds. With their clinically proven plan, pick from advanced, keto, or original.
All right, guys, good morning.
Take off the weight and keep it off.
It is 6 o'clock in the morning,
123 to download the free app.
and a lot of these stocks have already jumped up. So let's walk through them real quick. All right. All right. So NEO is a stock that we've been trading for like a week and a half long. It did come up almost $1. 45.90, 46.95 was where it closed at on Friday, and it went all the way up to 47. So $1 or so, and then it came back down. So now it dropped a little bit, about half of that now. So knowing that, and where it's currently at right now, it's already approached overbought twice. It was an overbought for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, so a total of 7 minutes when it approached overbought, and it is a little high right now. It is around here, so I'm not gonna get in until it comes down. Now I do want to hold this for about $1.50. $1.50 from where it currently is at right now is above this point right here, or even just $1 would be right here, literally around this level. Now, can NEO reach this? Definitely. Can it maintain an overbought section for longer than 5 minutes? Yes, I've seen it done. I've seen NEO do it before. So I want NEO to get to this level here before I get into it. We do know that it's volatile. It could either jump up early and then come down half of that or a little more, and then skyrocket back up.
This morning, many Americans may be able to breathe a sigh of relief for now.
All right, so that's NEO. So we want NEO to come down to here. That's 46.23, 46.08 level here. So I need to drop that 50 cents. Come down to here. So what I want, preferably down to here. So we'll see what happens. But I still believe NEO is a good stock, even at the price it is at. I'm really, thinking of holding this overnight for $1 some run. I don't know if it'll do $1 today. I've seen it do more than $1.50 a couple times in one day. We know 55-cent pops is what this thing does, anywhere between 30 to 55, but mostly 55, and then it just comes back down half of that and steps up. So we're waiting for NEO to come down for us. It's a little too high right now, and it's been above the trend line since 550, no, all the way since 530. So we want that to come down just a little bit. We want to get more of the. So if I want to hold on to this overnight, I need it to come down just a little bit, because I feel like this is just going to come down slowly or hard, one or the other. But it's definitely going to lose some gas. It's already gassed up all the way from 1 in the morning. Drop down, gassed back up. Now it's over here. All right, next stock we're looking at is DKNG. DKNG is also kind of high where it's at right now, but we do know that DKNG can reach this level and beyond easily. All right, and that's almost about $1 gain from where it's currently at to that point. But it is a little high. It's just we do know that DraftKings can drop hard and then poof, go up even harder. So to be honest with you, from where DraftKings is at, it's still a discount. To be honest with you, like if you want to ride this for 50 cents, about right here, more or less. It definitely can reach that. But we are also like Neo, so we just got into the over the 50 trend mark here. So I think from where it's at, I don't think it'll go to 51.95, although it could. But I think with the volume early in the morning, I think 51.96 is where it'll drop to. I think that's a decent level of price action right there in order for us to get interested in this. Meet us halfway, and then we can determine whether we get in or not. Now, this is another one that I would like to hold for $1.50 because of where it came from, where it's at, and everything it can do. So I'll show you that to you real quick. So here we got the 10-day chart. So we can see that it's already hit this level multiple times. Alright, so we got it already in the beginning right here. Okay, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you can see, this is stair stepping up. So you see the dips that come down are getting higher. You see this is low, high, higher, higher, and higher. So I don't think this is going to go down anymore today. Although it could, but I think the level that it'll reach, if it keeps following this dip pattern that it keeps doing, this shit right here, I think 51.96 is a perfect dip level. So not to reach this resistance right here, but to make it a new level of resistance. So exactly where that line is right here, this market is 51.96. I think it's where it might dip in order for us to get interested. It's a little too high. So now we'll talk about Wish real quick. Wish being the other stock we're looking at today. Alright, so Wish is a little high. It is the cheapest out of all of them. It is very enticing to get into, but
those are special house rules where it doesn't need just a majority to pass, it needs 2/3 support to be able to pass.
But since it is a new IPO, it did sell off very hard when it IPO'd. It literally went back to that level on Friday, and we can go ahead and see the 180 chart. You can see this is where it closed when it opened, and this is where it's at currently. So we do have all this room to go. So we do know that it's found its bottom. This is literally the bottom. Well, this is the bottom. This one's the bottom. But anyway, it's literally right there. Okay. Can it go any lower? I don't know. But if we take a look at the price action, so it went up real nice for like 2 days. Real nice, making new highs. So 23.75 being the first, and then 24.72 being the second, and then maintaining that 24.13 for about a day or for about 2 days, and then stair stepping down. So we found a bottom. Is it gonna do what it should do? Bounce off support? Well, so far it looks like it's doing that, as you can see here. So the support level being 2023, being right here. So that is right here. So we can see that it's literally bouncing off that right now. So from where it closed at 2015 to where it went at 2075, it's already done the pop already pre-market, going from 1 in the morning all the way to 2 in the morning. So it took an hour to get that pop right there. It already lost half of that, so 20.75. So about 30 cents. It lost about 25 cents is what it lost so far. So, and again, it is already up right here at resistance. I don't know the characteristics of this stock yet in order for me to get comfortable to say, okay, so we can ride this for a pop. It could definitely reach this levels here. We do know that it has reached overbought, as we can see down here, and it can do that. But I don't know, because look, I mean, look at all these levels it has to get to, So I think right now it's a little too high for me, not knowing what it can do, because I don't even know if down here is a perfect entry. But I do know that this is the very bottom level right here. So a rebounce off of this, a retest of 2023 would be perfect. Or even more so down here, creating a new level of support for us to take a little 32 cents bounce. Okay, so 32 cents is what we want out of this stock. Alright, so next one, let's talk about Zoom being a swing trade. Now, Zoom kept selling off. Now, to be honest with you, there is no recent news that says this thing is going to continue to sell off.
So you did sign it, and that's fantastic. And a lot of Americans waking up this morning.
So if we take a look at Zoom's price action, so Zoom is still a good contender. I think it's selling off because of the stimulus package. But if we take a look at the 180 right now, see where it sits right now? This is already at the support level, literally at the support level of when it really took off. So it passed that level here, came back down, surpassed these levels of support, made itself a new one, bounced off that, as you see it bounced off twice. So you can see that right here, okay? Bounced it off about 2-3 times. And then it did that massive run. And then we see here that it came back down to it a couple times. These two levels, not this level, but now it's around this level, came almost to this level. And then the very last level I see it maybe getting to would be this level of resistance from back here, but I put it just a little bit higher. But the level of resistance was also right here. So if it reaches that, then this is a goner, but I don't think so. Alright, so if we backtrack this, we're going forward, so we can see this is on discount on the 10. So we can definitely see this going from where it's currently at, so 370 all the way to 412. So I can definitely see this doing half of that today. So this can be a very easily $10-15 run in one day for sure too, because I don't really see, I see the stimulus package is the reason why this thing is selling off, and even on the 5-day. So I mean, it's this massive dip right here, and it just keeps going down. Pre-market, it kept going down. So normally when it reaches that, when it does that, I'm like, ooh, goody, it's on discount, it's oversold. But I've been caught in that trap before. So, if it goes down to that point, you're expecting for it to bounce to a certain level. And sometimes it does, a lot of times it does. But sometimes you're expecting to make a certain amount when it reaches that level, and then it doesn't reach it, and then it goes back down. And then you're stuck holding it for how long, who knows, until at least it goes to at least what you wanted to sell it at. So, Zoom, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I do know that it's definitely going to go back up today. How far up, I don't know. Will it go the norm, $4 or $5 pops, and then back down, and then back up for another $4 or $5, and then trade at that level for a little bit, and then either decide what it wants to do is go up or down. So, I don't know. But the next one we're looking at is, as a swing trade, is Baba. Now, Baba sold off pretty hard because of the government coming in and regulating because of monopoly law. Apparently Alibaba is trying to monopolize the market. having companies sell their product on Alibaba, but can only sell their products at Alibaba. Apparently, that's what the problem is. So, I want to bring back the chart here because I do want to show you that Alibaba is China's baby. You know, it's like they're Amazon for China, and it's, you know, so they take care of it. So, what am I doing? No, wrong one. So I want you to see where it's at compared. So as you can see, we're back right here at 218. This was the resistance before it popped right here. This is where we're at, and we're actually a little bit below that. So did the dust settle for Alibaba? Is it done going down? I don't know. There's nothing here that says that it hasn't. As a matter of fact, it's just more news saying here. So, for example, early in the morning.
I am out. And I'm going to be very honest here, just mine was a combination. I've chosen not to get that vaccine because I'm one of the Americans that's also scared. I'm going to get it. I'm not stupid. I right now am educating myself. I'm talking to doctors. I'm not stupid. There is a plan that, you know, that they are.
So it says here, no longer China's most valuable company, Alibaba has erased almost all its stock market gains this year, just days after Chinese regulators signaled a major change in their posture toward the e-commerce behemoth and its finance affiliate and group. Alibaba, 80% sell out Christmas Eve. Taking Alibaba.
Just bring the person that you trust the most with you when you do get that vaccine and hold their hand. They'll help you through it. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, thank you. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you and yours. Appreciate it. By the way, everybody, Dr. Fauci is warning the pandemic could actually get worse. Coming up, the resources, doctors say, are running low, and where we stand at this moment on vaccine distribution. Plus, brand new information about the man police say is behind the Nashville Christmas bombing. We have the latest.
So it's just a continuation of that shit that broke out at 4 in the morning, and then the newest one that broke out, headlining being consumer stocks flat to higher during pre-market trading on Monday.
These days, you need more than an education. So that's what we give you.
Introducing career services for life.
Learn more at phoenix.edu.
You are busy, working, parenting, problem solving. At New Chapter Vitamins, we've been busy too.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's more pressure.
Testing them and fermenting. Fermenting? Yeah, like kombucha for yogurt.
You know, that shit. So the
So your body can really truly.
the government's just applying more pressure to them.
So you can do you. New Chapter. Wellness well done.
All right, so those are the ones we're watching. I was looking briefly because of the stimulus package. BA is still a nice contender. It is a little too high, although I do know that it can't reach this 2096 level right here. So that's like a $2 run, but not really interested for a $2 run on such an expensive stock.
And wake up on the right side of the bed this year.
Now we do know that this can jump, so from 216, 35 to 218, so that's a $2 pop. So from where it's at now, I don't know if it's gonna sell. But also, so I'm also liking Laser. Laser did jump up massively pre-market, but we do know that this, look, it's $32 right there, and it went to $33.39. You know, so we definitely can see Laser making a move as well. So we take a look at Laser real quick. Something that it's also very interesting. So our next level of resistance would be 35.23 as it sits. So that's right here above this level of overbought. So if we were to gauge this one, which seems to be the best one right now of basically where it's at, with no recent news on this that it's going down, it's already been hot and it still has room to go. So it coming down a little more is perfect. We see it's been struggling breaking this 50 trend line right here. So maybe we can catch this on the way up. Maybe we can literally do a 55-cent pop.
Actually leave you feeling worse? You need Bistro. Being better about what you eat has never been, well, better. Bistro makes plant-based eating simple. With Bistro, there's no shopping or prep and no mess. Just amazing, fully prepared gourmet meals right on hand. Just heat, eat, and enjoy in minutes. And it's totally convenient because Bistro is delivered straight to your door. Get 30% off your first order with code YOUNG30. Go to bistro.com right now.
Welcome back. We're learning new details this morning about the man investigators say is responsible for.
So if we take a look at the chart for Laser, okay, Laser is probably gonna replace Wish, definitely, because I like where it's at right now. So if we take a look at the 180 chart, so we see it's up here, right? But you see that it pretty much gave all that back, and now it's back up here. So we do like the fact. So we do like this very much. So the next level of resistance would be 35.23. Okay. So if we take a look at the 5.
You've been following the story pretty closely. I know we have a lot of new details.
35.23 being that next level of resistance that it had a hard time breaking, then it became support, and then back to resistance. So 35.23 is very reachable. I do believe it can do that. I would like to ride this for $1, but it has been flying a little high, so maybe this is the cooling off area. I don't want today to be the third day of it cooling off. If we take a look at the 10, as you can see, it's a little overextended as well, but we can definitely catch this for a pop. So not knowing the characteristics of the stock very well, knowing that we still have room to grow, as you can see that. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of resistance before we get there, and we have a little bit more coming down here, right? Yeah, nope, about even, more or less. But as you can see here, it's closer to get to these marks here. So I was thinking it'd be a good day today in the market, since I think the market is green. Yeah, and this is considered to be an EV stock. We can definitely ride this nice. So I do like the fact that it's there. So if we take a look for any more support and resistance, so maybe this level would be a level of support, and then obviously this level right here. So we can just add that down there. So yeah. All right, give us some bases, you know. All right, so we're gonna put DKNG is a little high for me, so we're gonna put Laser right here, right next to Neo. Then we're gonna put DKNG here in the bottom, being the third option, and then we're gonna go ahead and put Neo here. Now the reason I'm going to continue to watch Neo, even though it's a little higher, and Laser seems to be the stock that's better in play from where it's currently at. So we'll see.
Well, it's kind of the ultimate question at this point. There's a couple of developments here which may or may not be helpful depending upon where the investigation goes forward from here, Yasmin. The first thing.
All right, so we did our homework.
Has been able to get into some of the digital media devices that they found in the course of executing the search warrant at his.
There's no recent news on Neo except for we're in an EV bubble, blah blah blah. Actually, you know what? Let me read that. Let me see what it says here.
What do I mean by that? We're talking about thumb drives, so potentially computers, potentially hard drives, potentially. So they'll take a look through that. That may or may not help them with motive. The second thing is, according to the report from my colleague Jonathan Dietz, what they have heard from a woman who apparently this person, Anthony Warner, gave his car to shortly before the bombing occurred, the suicide bombing occurred, that he apparently told this person that he had been diagnosed with cancer. Now, investigators are trying to track that down to see if that's true, if it's some sort of a cover story. Of course, a cancer diagnosis doesn't mean that you get to drive your RV into downtown Nashville and blow it up, as terrifying as that diagnosis may be. The third thing I think here that's important is that, you know, they're able to get some access to the digital media devices. Obviously, in national security investigations like this, the process of them being able to lawfully obtain through court orders, the email communications, the telephone toll records.
Horrible fucking chart. Nasty.
It's always expedited in these circumstances, and the fact that, as Shaq reported, and as it was reported on the Today Show this morning by that person from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, look, they're not yet coming up with a motive. That presents two challenges. One, understanding why this person did it, of course, whether or not there was some sort of an ideology or some sort of a political cause for doing it, and that's the reason why they're not calling it terrorism at this point. Is it absolutely terrifying looking at that video? Yes, absolutely. But that does not meet the classical definitions of terrorism. It meets what's occurred so far, the classical definitions of a suicide bomber, but not terrorism, which is traditionally defined, Yasmin, as being somehow politically or ideologically motivated in an incident or attack like this. So that's just to provide a little bit of a background on that and where we stand in this investigation. Wish we had more information for you, but we're going to see where the evidence takes us.
Well, I know you guys are going to stay on this for us as investigators towards finding out a motive, because that's what everybody wants to know at this point. Shaq Brewster, Tom Winter, thank you both guys, appreciate it. My next guest, everybody, has described the scene at his hospital as a battlefield, with one person dying of COVID in Los Angeles every 10 minutes. The decisions being made right now about rationing care. We'll be right back.
At VisionWorks, we know it's easy to forget to use your vision benefits before the year's up. This is us making sure you don't. Use them before you lose them! Backed by our 100-day guarantee! VisionWorks, see the difference.
I adore the kids I meet each year from St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. These kids are healthy today because St. Jude leads how the world treats and defeats childhood cancer.
All right, we got about 4 minutes left to the bell rings. So we got all eyes on Neo right now. We're also looking at Laser. We switched out Wish with Laser. Wish is a little too high, but Laser is going back up. And then we're also watching DK and G. All of them are a little too high at the moment. I would say the one that's the lowest would be Laser, and then you know, Wish also being a little high, I believe. Yeah, it's also a little high. And Baba continuing to go down. So I want to wait for the dust to settle on Baba before I jump on in there. And then Zoom continuing to sell off for us. It is at a decent level. I do see Zoom jumping like $7 minimum today, at least from where it's at. So I would say 403.77 right there. I believe that will reach there. I'm not sure if I'm going to trade this today, so I'm just gonna, you know, just for curiosity. And then we were also looking at Airbnb. I believe it's ready to buy. So Airbnb, if we take a look real quick at the charts. So it currently is at the level of support that it's been having for a couple of days. So I think that's where it reaches. So I'm going to buy this at 154. It already went to 154. So 155. I'm going to buy this at 155, guys. So for those of you that were asking me at what price I think this is good, I would like it to go back to 154. But seeing that it went already up $4 from this low, I would like it to drop at least to 155, because I'm gonna hold on to this for quite some time. So I'll pop this chart up for you real quick so you can see the level of resistance. You can see 154 was that level of resistance from there, but 157 is that level. So Yeah, going from here to here. So, yeah. So yeah, definitely. So 155, 154 is my entry level on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a trigger on that in my E-Trade account, and I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy 100 shares of this.
What if you could cook amazing food with very little effort?
Okay, so back at it. Jumaya being another favorite of ours, it's actually doing a little better for us. As we can see, it's starting to sell off. We might have to, you know, jump back and forth with Jumaya, see where it ends up. So I'm going to go ahead and put an alert. I'm going to put an alert right here. If it reaches this level, that's when I'll be interested in, and or below. So right there, that's where I'd be very interested in. We see laser going up, so we just might switch Jumaya with or laser with Jumaya. So Jumaya is going down and laser is going up. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Do I have Jumaya on there?
Every 10 minutes. Megan, good to see you this morning. That means essentially at least
same thing. Okay. We see DraftKings going down, which is great. We love that. We want that after that little mini bump that it did. So we're gonna go ahead and replace Jumaya, laser with Jumaya, since it is starting to sell off. We're gonna put Neo back up on here.
As these patients just continue to flood the hospital system here,
39 seconds left till the bell rings.
Then at 0% capacity, so there's a situation here where doctors and nurses are setting up these makeshift ICU wards in parts of the hospital that are not designed to care for ICU patients. You're seeing tents going up in parking lots for overflow. But what's most concerning here is doctors in the county are saying that they are just days away from having to decide who gets care and who
I think I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna put
here in Los Angeles County.
DKNG here.
Would you say
And I'm gonna put 17 shares.
We might be days away from that. It's hard to know. Some people that are returning from the Christmas holiday are going to start feeling ill in the next few days. And some of the rationing is the simplest things like oxygen. There's a shortage of oxygen in many
Alright,
hospitals.
Neo is going up. DraftKings is going up. Jumaya is going up. What is laser doing?
All of those things are in short.
Laser is selling off. We're going to keep laser on the chart. Neo is selling off.
Are expected to double by Friday. Yasmin?
All right, Megan Fitzgerald for us in Los Angeles. Thank you, Megan. So I want to bring in now the Chief Medical Officer at the LA County USC Medical Center, Dr. Brad Spellberg. Dr. Spellberg.
So we're going to put Neo back on the chart.
As we've been following the situation in your state, it is so incredibly troubling to hear the numbers ballooning every single day, and it's not stopping. It just keeps going up, especially with the Christmas holiday and people getting together. Thinking about the situation in the hospitals specifically, your ICU is full at this point. Talk us through what is happening inside your hospital.
Well, our ICU has been full for going on 3 weeks, and every day we come in the door in the morning and desperately try to figure out where to move patients to free up beds, because there's people now in the community who need ICU care and we don't have beds for them, and that's a daily battle that we're going through. And as you've indicated correctly, that battle...
Alright, so I went ahead and took a starter there. It's probably going to go down for me. I did buy it at resistance. So I do want to sell this for... so I'm going to go ahead and set a 50 cents trigger.
They want to, but it's because they have to, because nurses and doctors and frontline healthcare workers are pushed to the brink, having to manage more patients at one time than they ever have before. Is that something that is happening inside your hospital?
Well, I think in most, if not all, hospitals in LA County now, ICUs and the intermediate level of care, called the step-down units, are beginning to move out of standard ratios of nurses to patients. Because
so that's why I want to sell it. Let's see if it can get there. Although I do believe it's going to go down for me.
In our hospital and other hospitals, as you alluded to, people can set up tents in parking lots. Space is not the problem. The problem is trained staff. It takes years to train an ICU physician. It takes months to years to train
4668 is where I got in, so I got in right here.
As patients flood the hospital, there's only so many of those people to go around. And at some point you reach,
and we're gonna go ahead and color code this.
expected ratio is for appropriate ICU care because you have no choice.
And this is why, correct me if I'm wrong, this is why people are dying. This is why more people are dying every single day. Because the hospitals are completely and utterly overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that we don't have incredible health care in this country and treatment. We haven't figured out a way to actually treat COVID in a way and better know the virus, but because of the care.
Well, the virus is what's causing the deaths.
Why is it doing that?
With the quality of healthcare in the United States. Many countries do it much better than us, and there's plenty of objective evidence around that. And I hope after we get through COVID, we can have a real discussion over how to fix the broken U.S. healthcare system. Having said that, in point of fact, the real issue here is not even just about COVID patients. If you have a heart attack or you have a car accident.
So what I did was I was anticipating the bounce off the 32 trend line, which is this pink line right here. So that's what I was doing. I did want it to come a little lower. I do believe that this is gonna. I chose Neo as a safer bet. I do, and I like it because it has these volatile pops in the morning. So buy on the second candle. Should have waited for it to drop like that, which it did, which it's doing currently right now. But it's okay. So I just might hold on to this for a bigger hit.
It is unethical to provide non-beneficial fetal care that is painful, uncomfortable, and harmful, and does not have a hope of restoring baseline functionality to our patients. That's something that happens having nothing to do with this pandemic. It's happened always, and it must happen because it's part of standard of care medicine. The fear is that we begin having to ration appropriate care. We have not yet reached that point in my hospital, but we are heading dangerously close to the precipice on that. And there are many other hospitals in our area that have essentially announced that they have reached that step.
It's so troubling. It's so troubling to think that it's happening in this country, and it's honestly happening.
That's why.
But that there's going to have to be a choice as to whether or not to offer somebody eventually.
All right, so DraftKings is going down as we knew it would. And Neo is basically at the level that I wanted to get it at. Originally, I got to learn with this motherfucker. I try to get off the bounce here, so I got in, and from 46.37 to 46.58. It's already a 50 cents run on this one alone. But I wanted to see what it would do, and I thought that this was gonna bounce off the 52 trend line and then make its run up. As we see, it's going down for us. How far down is it going to go? It might just reach this 45.48 level, which is pretty much almost $1 down from what I got in at. But we're expecting for this to go up more today.
But the worry at that point was, well, the medical system is going to be overwhelmed. We're not going to have enough doctors and nurses and frontline healthcare workers in place.
We see DraftKings is going down. Right now would be perfect to get into. I just want some.
That just can't be sustained.
I want some clarifications. Right now it's currently at the 51.37. So it is very close to support from going back a couple of days.
It was about a 1 in 5 chance if you went to the hospital that you would die from COVID. And that's now getting a little bit better. It's about a 10%
I'm sorry,
chance
amigo, pero me tengo
mortality.
que ir porque si llueve, el otro no te dé wipe.
Right on point that when you have staff that are overwhelmed and you put patients in places like cafeterias and places that they're not supposed to be receiving care, that's just a sign of all the other problems that are going on. And in those cases, Yasmin, your chances, if you come in with not just COVID, but as Dr. Spellberg was saying, with other conditions, that you are not going to receive the level of care that you should, and therefore your chances of having a bad outcome are even higher. Add to that, Yasmin, that you've got staff. Those are some of my friends I trained with at UCLA. They've been working 10 months straight, not even a day off. And so the emotional toll that it's taking combined with the physical toll, and it really is just an incredible kind of kettle for disaster. And I worry, it's what keeps me up at night about any of these new variants or the holiday surge. It's that effect. We can get you to the hospital, and that seems like you could probably survive, but do you really want to take that risk?
It's so interesting, right? Because we often in this country take for granted the medical care, right? We take for granted the fact that the hospitals have optimal, or the best medical care that we can find in the world. Really, we have the best technology, the best resources. But this is an unprecedented time, something that we've really never seen before. And what we don't talk about enough, and it's something that you just brought up, the psychological effects and the ramifications of this on our frontline healthcare workers. We see them as heroes. We see folks like you as heroes. But how this time has actually affected you and affected your ability in doing this job, we don't talk about it enough.
And let me be clear, I practice in a primary care clinic setting, and it's stressful enough just because we're dealing with people who may or may not have COVID, who have had kind of the long-term symptoms of COVID. My friends who are practicing in emergency rooms and ICUs and on hospital floors every day, they literally go to work every day and have on this suit of armor, and they're just praying that they don't come home and get sick and bring it. I have friends who are sick right now with COVID, emergency room doctors who are feeling the pressure to go back.
All right.
They're incredibly sick because there's no other doctors to take care of these patients, and so that's the situation we're in, and that's why I see these pictures on social media of people getting together at the holidays and these smiles and cheers. And
I mean, the strategy is what I preach, and it's how you guys been making your money. I just like to get in and out quick, so if I can grab that bounce, it is a little riskier. It has been profitable for me, but the strategy does work. So yeah, you're right. So like right now, DraftKings, the strategy is already in play. So if you were to get a DraftKings, you can probably go for that 55 cents pop, because the pops are geared towards halfway of what you would get in. So before the pops, so you would do the calculations. Okay, so I would give, if I get in halfway, how far does that go up?
$1,000 to get their $2 admitted to the University of Southern California. We'll be right back.
So I can get one more share, which I'm going to do.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get new Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em! It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean. Goodbye, itchy.
So we're going to remove this. And now it's 47.08, right?
It's Nutrisystem for Men, with a month of food and shakes delivered to your door. Stay home, stay safe.
Nutrisystem comes right to my door. I don't have to think about it. This is breakfast, this is snack, this is lunch, this is dinner.
Nutrisystem for Men has got you covered to stock up the pantry and help you stay healthy. Act now and save 50% off a month of food and 50% off a month of shakes.
Go online or call 888-671-FIT4 to save 50% on a month of food and shakes.
Alright, so Neo's going on a run. How far will it go? We do have room for this to keep going up to here. So from here, 40, 45.93.
Many who've been left outside in the cold.
Endless suffering, endless pain, just lack of hope. There is no shortage of hope out there.
This winter, please help by visiting our website or calling.
All right, so for this to reach this level here from this point on, it's $1.23. So we do know that Neo can move a little more than that. So I was gonna up my exit trigger, but I think that's the run it's gonna have because we did get in a little early. We got in super early. I was anticipating that 50 cents pop from here to here, and we did get a 50 cents pop, kind of. So the bottom of this wick is 46.38, and then this is 46.82.
So act now. It's a season of great suffering for too many animals. Please go online.
So we see laser going to oversold. So we do like that. We see DraftKings, even with the setup, it continued to go down. I don't know where the market's at. The market is currently green. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave our 50 cents trigger where it's at. Gives us a base hit today, double digits, right?
Sell your house. There are lots of things that can go wrong, but HomeLight can help you get it right. If you need a
gives us about a $10 hit.
HomeLight will analyze all the agents from the top brokerages and find one who knows how to sell your home faster and for more money. Or skip the stress of prep, listing, and open houses and close on your own timeline. HomeLight can connect you with a buyer who will pay cash for your home in a matter of days. No matter how you want to sell, HomeLight shows you all your options. Selling starts at HomeLight.
Alright, so looks like we might hold on to this for a little bit longer. I doubt that Neo will reach. I doubt Neo will reach our mark today. I would like to sell a little higher, so I will say this. If I don't sell it today, at the trigger that I have it at right now, currently, I'm going to up that trigger because I do like the price that I got in. It's not that bad, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, we're only down about 65 cents. So, we're good.
1 week from today. Joining me now to break all of this down, NBC News correspondent Jeff Bennett, who's in Wilmington, Delaware for us, covering the Biden transition. NBC News senior politics editor
let's take a look at Wish. What did Wish end up doing?
Welcome to you all, guys. Thanks for joining us on this. Jeff, let me start with you on this. Just give me a sense on what we're expecting.
Wish flying up $1.
Some major appointments that's
real nice.
January 20th, specifically, of course, something that we've all been anticipating.
OSDK selling off super hard. Wow.
Yep. Hey, it's been great to see you. Well, we know from the Biden transition team that the president-elect today will be briefed by his national security team and then will deliver remarks here in Wilmington. And we expect him to speak extensively about the domestic terror threat, the threat from within, following that apparent suicide bombing in Nashville on Christmas Day.
So we're currently at a double bottom if it maintains that level right there.
Raised alarms about the threat posed by white supremacist groups and violent extremists. We've not heard President Trump address it in any substantive way. In fact, there are added concerns that his repeated false claims about voter fraud really add fire to the simmering, add fuel rather to the simmering fire among some, right-wing extremists.
OSTK looking like it's going to make a bounce back up. It should go at least $1 up or more. It's literally at oversold.
What we expect to see is him stepping into the leadership
So,
and speaking extensively about this issue, much like he did last week, speaking about the COVID crisis. And
see what Jemai is doing. Jemai is doing what I thought it would do.
To your other question,
sell off.
Cabinet selections, there are 4 left to go. So Biden's selections for Labor Secretary, Commerce Secretary, someone to lead the Small Business Administration, and then Attorney General. And we could get at least some of those announcements as early as this week in our reporting. It's such that the
this is going to keep stair-stepping down.
You've got Doug Jones, Merrick Garland, and Sally Yates. Each are viewed as being credible and qualified, Jones and Garland are thought to be more
take a look at Zoom.
confirmed in a divided Senate than
The Zoom keeps going further down. Let's take a look at Baba.
Joe Biden settles on. Yasmin?
Those last four incredibly important
Baba's making his way up.
across the board.
Baba had a little mini dip right here at 213. Now it's at 223, so about a $10 run. Knew that was going to happen.
Some of the headlines that we got from the New York Post were pretty shocking, and I want to read a bit from that piece. In it, they write this: stop thinking about January 6th, start thinking about January 5th. If Republicans David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler win, they will prevent Biden from rolling back what you have accomplished. A Republican Senate can pressure Biden against returning to the old failed Iran deal, can stop him from throwing open our southern border, will prevent him from packing the cord. They go on.
So Baba's a home run today. If you were going to get into this for a $10 run, I suggested a $5 to $10 run for Baba. It already reached that, and I think it's going to keep going. I think it'll maybe hit the oversold. I'm sorry, the overbought, and then maybe trade drop maybe $4 or $5 from there, and then go down from that point, or trade sideways, I should say. That's real nice. Anyone got into Baba? You're doing real nice. Alright, so we're struggling with Neo. So I try to get off the bounce off of the 52 trend line right here. If I would have got it in the very first beginning of the candle, maybe we could have got that nice 50 cents pop right here. Came close to it. So anyway, I try to get that bounce off that 52 trend line right here, seeing that our lines were right there in play in between, and it looks like it was about to cross right here, it being above the 50 trend line. So all good signs, says it was a good setup, and I could at least rode that mini wave, knowing it was a little too high to begin with. But I try to get that bounce so we can get in and out pretty quick. But, I should have just basically waited for my support lines. This is why we draw them, So this is where I would have been more comfortable getting in at. Is where it was at. So, but that's okay. We'll see. So from where it's currently at to reach our level is $1.23. So I'm not going to put it any higher. Unless when near the closing, if it still hasn't reached that level, then I will up that trigger for sure for the next day, because I know it'll sell the next day. That's for sure.
Well, that will be the next chapter in the story about how the president changed Georgia and its future in terms of making people look and think again about whether or not they want to support President Trump or people who support him in this election. We know that he is going to be campaigning in Georgia, in a county actually that he really will
$1.50 for an act.
Ossoff and Warnock for them to win in ways that they haven't during, or didn't, should I say, during the 2020 election. But there's real doubt that the president will focus his speech on the Senate race, because that's not what he's done since the election. He instead has focused on himself, continuing to spread false information,
65 cents,
and continue, for lack of a better word, to whine and pout about things not going his way without doing any real introspection about why things did not go the way he would have liked. And so that right there could be the real legacy of the Trump administration, him putting Georgia up in the air for Democrats, a state that just historically hasn't even considered voting left.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna put it here.
Because of President Trump.
Jeff Bennett, Beth Fugi, Eugene Scott, thank you all, guys. Good to see you this morning, and happy early New Year's. Up ahead, everybody, a mutant strain of the coronavirus is spreading around the world. A new step.
Yeah, fuck it. That's where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna go for a bigger win today. Fuck it. I know I'm gonna hold on to this for a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and put this trigger right.
Why is everybody so rich? We all want these new kids to feel welcome. You only know how Bayside works for kids like you. Hot kids, privileged kids. This place is magic. Damn, I love magic.
It's 90 cents. That's where we're gonna put it. Fuck it.
This is Steve. He used to have gum problems. Now he uses TheraBreath Healthy Gums oral rinse with clinically proven ingredients, and his gum problems have vanished. TheraBreath. It's a better mouthwash at Walmart, Target, and other fine stores.
It's only a matter of time until you're checking.
Let's see how BA is doing. Beautiful run on BA. Look at that. It's only gone up $1 and change, but still beautiful run.
$5,000. A new transmission over $4,000. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country.
I like CarShield because they were reliable, they were affordable, and they were trustworthy.
I think everybody should have CarShield. Once your manufacturer's warranty is expired, there's just no big bills. You need it repaired.
Alright, so the markets are still green. Neil's just selling off. No recent news on this.
So you can worry less about auto repairs. Call or go online.
See what else is moving for us. Twillo is coming down. I knew that would. It's been going up for a minute.
24 hours a day. So if your car is 20 years old or newer, just tell us the
DKG. Let's see what that's doing.
In a matter of minutes, you can be covered.
Still selling off. This is gonna be a nice bounce. These little pops. 41.69.
Dealer, and CarShield gets them paid directly. That's why CarShield is America's #1 auto protection provider.
CarShield is just the best thing to take away the fear that when something is going to go wrong with your car, because it
Very
will.
nice.
And CarShield is going to be there to back you up.
My experience with CarShield is that they absolutely come through every time I need them.
If my car breaks down, I can
Laser making a nice jump back up after hitting oversold. It went from 31.74 32.43. Beautiful, nice.
It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed. Once your car breaks down, it's too late.
Call 1-800-471-5552 or go to carshield.com. Cover today. Hitting your New Year's resolution is easy when everything is done for you. Meet freshly, chef-cooked meals ready in minutes. Skip the cooking and cleaning and get meals delivered fresh to your door. To order your meals, go to freshly.com.
Whether you seek inspiration beyond the horizon or find it right before your eyes, your limits are only as far as your eyes can see. Verilux progressive lenses push those limits, providing seamless transitions from near to far vision with incredible sharpness. That's seeing no limits. Book now at your local SLR expert to push the limits of your vision. Verilux lenses.
I'm gonna put this note here for me. So I should be more patient. I see all the setup, but diverting from my original plan of attack. I still win, but after seeing what it did and what I could have made, I should be more patient. So instead of anticipating the bounce off of a certain trend line, I should just wait for my support and resistance levels to really kick in, which is what basically is what the creme de la creme of my strategy.
Big fear here, of course, is that this new strain crosses borders. What else are countries doing there to contain this new variant?
Hey, Yasmin, good to talk to you. That's right. So we're at Heathrow, a very quiet Heathrow airport. Usually planes are just whipping by here. I can barely hear myself talk, much less think. But there are very few places that UK nationals or anyone traveling from the UK can fly right now. And that's exactly what the UK government wants, and that's certainly what other countries want as well. So this UK variant you mentioned has already shown up in parts of Australia and Japan, across Europe. Now, Japan has banned all foreign nationals right now. Other countries, more than 40 countries across Europe, have banned any arrivals from the UK. And then the US has done something different. As you just said, starting today, they will require that negative PCR test for anyone traveling from the UK to the US. But Yasmin, the US hasn't let in Europeans or British nationals since last March, so those planes are pretty empty. Now, there are 15 US-bound flights leaving from Heathrow today, but I gotta say, given the UK government guidance that you can't even leave your home unless it's for essential work,
Those planes are going to be pretty empty. Yasmin?
All right, Molly Hunter at Heathrow Airport for us in London. Thank you, Molly. Good to see you. That wraps up the hour for me. I'm Yasmin Vasugian. Lindsay Reiser picks up our coverage next. She'll be joined by Virginia Congressman Jerry Connolly.
Life is busy, and sometimes odors can sneak up on you.
I'm just going to leave it back where we left it at, because I don't think it's going to go to even my trigger today.
Sometimes the scent power of regular Febreze, Unstoppable's fabric finds, neutralizes, and eliminates tough odors trapped in hard-to-wash fabrics, wet couches, or smelly sports equipment, leaving an irresistibly fresh
Let's see what's on the oversold scanner. Oh, lasers on there, Lee's on there. Oh, fuck. Lee's on there. You know what this is? This is sympathy because of what's going on with Baba. But Baba's is doing good now. So what about Tesla? Tesla's trading sideways. Kind of like NEO right now.
With employee pricing for all, get an average $4,644 below MSRP, plus $1,000 bonus cash. One grand Cherokee Limited.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Lee, and we live in North Pole, Alaska.
I'm a retired school counselor.
I'm a retired art teacher.
We met online about 10 years ago. As I got older, my hearing was not so good, so I got hearing aids. My vision was not as good as it used to be. Got a change in prescription. But the thing missing was my memory. I saw a Prevagen commercial and I thought that makes sense. I just didn't have to work so hard to remember things.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Don't waste time, don't waste money, don't waste food. I feel like I'm stuck on repeat, but they're finally getting it by using the grocery delivery service Imperfect Foods. That checks all the boxes. Now we get sustainable, affordable food delivered to us once a week. All the groceries we need, no more trips to the store. My parents, grocery shopping the responsible way. I'm so proud of them. Get 20% off your first order with code PERFECT at imperfectfoods.com/TV.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
This holiday season, shine a light on the world of money.
Tesla's going back up.
Debit card for kids. They'll love learning to earn.
Let's see if NEO can follow sympathy.
Spend wisely. For one
This is what you call
brighter future. Sign up today at greenlightcard.com. This t-shirt helped me
lower lows and lower highs. So we know NEO does this, you know. I mean, look at this, you know. I mean, it went all the way down to here and then came back up to where it pretty much opened at. So if it does that for us today, it kind of sucks because we want it to come all the way up to here. That's what we want. So that's quite alright because we feel comfortable with this, knowing that it's gonna go back up because of all the news surrounding it. If this was Wish and I did that exact thing, I would have cut my losses already. Because I don't know, we kind of have a clear bottom. Well, we have levels of support and resistance with NEO. So, you know, we have an idea of how far down it can go with the recent news and how far up it can go. And, you know, going further up, it's what it's going to make, you know, it's where this is going to go. So.
After the president created fear and chaos over the holidays and after unemployment benefits lapsed for at least 12 million Americans. Also this hour, we're watching Capitol Hill, where the House will return today to vote on a bill that would raise stimulus checks to $2,000 per person.
TTCF looks like it's going down. Buy some more shares of that. That's a good stock.
Yesterday, the U.S. marked 19 million cases and more than 118,000 Americans spent their holidays in the hospital. State officials are now gearing up for a post-holiday surge.
And we're learning more this morning about a Christmas Day bomb that rocked Nashville. Authorities are now looking into any possible motive after identifying the
Yeah, these theater stocks are obviously going to go up because of the package, the stimulus package. So I do like the fact that NEO is still currently under the 50 trend line, meaning it can give us a lot of room to go. Will it reach this? I don't think so, but that's okay because that means that the next day I know this is going to keep going higher for us. Now, if we would have gotten here where we initially kind of really wanted to get into, well, actually here is what I wanted to get into. This is what I really wanted to get into. We would have got into that position there.
He did not do that in front of cameras. In fact, we haven't seen him do any on-camera or public events while in Florida over the last 5 days or so. Instead, the president has been firing
Yeah, we still would have been in this little tidal wave that we're currently in right now, but at a lesser, about 50 cents less. No, 40 cents less.
The president took all of this time and essentially threw a temper tantrum again that was of his own making while here in Florida instead of spending time negotiating or being a key part.
So we're in this a lot longer than we want to. Again, I should have been more patient. I wanted to go out to bounce off this purple line right here. This is the 52-week trend line right here. So I got in here, waited for it to swim to see if it was going to come down or go up. It kept going up, so I jumped in, anticipating for it to go at least. So if I would have got in right there, and I wanted, it's a closer jump from there to here. So this is where I want to sell it at. So that's where I was basically looking for with that bounce. So it gave us a false breakout, stair step down, reclaimed some of that, stair back down, and then it reclaimed some, as you can see. So right now, this is like the level that it's having a hard time breaking. This level right here. So if we can break that level, then we can see this going up real nice.
The president put Republicans in a really tough position, as Monica was saying. It seems like, though, Mitch McConnell is going right back to his defense of the president.
Well, Lindsay, Republicans are propping up the president as a hero for doing what he was expected to do, was sign this COVID relief bill, including Leader McConnell, who is saying that
Tesla's doing some mini waves here, but these waves are nice. 672, 677. It's like $4 runs. Oh, nice. DKNG stair stepping down. So is fucking NEO. It's like one of them days. It's one of them days. Again, if this was any other stock, then I would have cut my losses already. So we can see NEO has already approached the low of yesterday, which is 45.48, which is the dream price to get into for today, because you could definitely ride this from here for a $2 run, which would be right up here. So that can definitely do that. So we got stuck in the tidal wave. It gave us two breakouts, one on the very first candle, thought I was going to keep going, and then this little pop here, and this little pop here, and now we're starting to go down. So the trigger maintains where it's at. So we can see that NEO is going to go down for us today. If the closer it gets to that trigger, if it doesn't sell today, I'm putting the trigger up higher because I know NEO is going to go back up. DKNG and NEO are doing exactly the same thing. If you put them side by side, this is DKNG is right here, and then this is NEO. They're doing exactly the same thing.
So that's what he's doing. Well, as you say, other Americans are struggling and just probably relieved that they're getting the relief that he ended up signing into law last night that Monica mentioned. But yes, in terms of a broader look, is it a good look for him to be on vacation? Is it a good look for these other leaders to be on vacation and to have traveled at a time when Dr. Fauci and other health professionals are warning people against doing that and gathering I guess that's really up to the American people to decide.
Here's what else people might not consider a good look. The New York Post, a traditionally conservative voice, had some strong words for the president splashed on their front page, writing in an editorial, "Give it up, Mr. President, for your sake and the nation's." Jeff, they label his efforts as an undemocratic coup to overturn the election. They say he should be more focused on January 5th, of course, the Georgia runoffs, rather than January 6th, when Congress will meet to certify the election results. What do you think of the significance that this paper in particular is saying this?
Well, I think it's especially significant because the Post is a Murdoch property, and it's a newspaper that has been extremely supportive of the president. So you have to assume that that's something that he has seen and is probably contributing to maybe not a great mood today. But I think in general, to your broader point, this is exactly what he's been focused on, and not the bill, not the other elements of governing, overturning a democratically achieved election. And that is where his mindset has been since mid-November and continues.
So it looks like we would have been caught in this wave anyway, because they didn't even give us the pops, 50-cent pops, even not even from this point, 45.92.
Right now, investigators are working to determine a motive for the Christmas morning explosion that rocked downtown Nashville. We're learning more details, many of them, in fact, of this man.
I did. We would have got out here for 50 cents pop, so it didn't give us the opportunity. We just got in way too early over here. See, this is what I'm talking about. You can get the 50-cent pops real nice from here to here. 50 cents pop, a little more. And now we're all the way down here.
Authorities there, only the bomber himself was killed.
DKNG and Neo doing the same thing. Alright, so that was anticipating to hold on to this. So how far down is it going to go today? Hopefully not too far.
It was a team effort by federal agencies and local law enforcement here on the ground. Nashville PD the first to respond here, but then we saw an incredible federal footprint here. FBI saying more than 250 agents and employees took part in this investigation. And it really all comes down to a couple key pieces of evidence. One being human tissue recovered at the scene, the importance of which detailed to us from a federal investigator. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say.
We had a known individual where we were able to get the tissue from the scene, the crime scene itself, and then we were able to gather some comparative tissue, comparative DNA from his former vehicle, a vehicle that he owned, and we were able to go to that vehicle, recover some items from it.
What a wave down, huh?
Piece of critical evidence here, and Google Street View helped lead investigators to Warner's home, Anthony Quinn Warner's home, just outside of Nashville. And it was in that Street View image they could see the RV parked in his backyard. That was an identical match to the one that was parked on a Nashville street, not too far away from where I'm standing, early Christmas morning, that later exploded after giving a warning and playing music. And so those two pieces of evidence combined led authorities to believe that Quinn Warner acted alone. He, of course, died in that blast.
See, Laser's trading sideways right now. DKNG's trading sideways. Neo is also trading sideways.
Information about a possible motive here. I mean, we're seeing some video of these agents taking evidence out of that home. Do you think we'll ever know why Warner did this?
Well, it's anyone's guess at this point. Investigators say they certainly hope to nail down the exact reasoning. They yet don't know why he parked that RV in such close proximity to that AT&T data facility, which, when detonated, caused such extensive damage to that building. It caused outages for the AT&T systems, not just here in Nashville, but as far as rural parts of Georgia, Kentucky, Alabama. People living in those areas weren't able to have any service on their cell phones. Their internet went down, and that's proven to be a significant problem that AT&T says should be, for the most part, rectified by the end of today. They are hoping to interview...
All right, so we do have ways to go for it to reach our trigger. So more than likely, yeah, it's like a 90% chance, bro, that I'm gonna end up holding this until the next day, which is fine because we know Neo can make big waves. So even at the level that I wanted to get into, I wanted to get in here. We could have got that 50 cents pop that we were looking for. But I was probably going to end up looking for a 65 cents pop. Or maybe I would have gone for the 50 cents. We would have got it. We would have sold it at this point right over here before that wave going down, which is what we want. So I didn't buy on the first candle, which is fine. I got on this because the break bounced off the 52 trend line. I wanted for it to reach that, which it would have got. It could have done that if it would have maintained its momentum. But we also have to take into consideration, again, something that I didn't take into it until after. I was looking at it in the morning, literally. So we see that it did a dollar run here, dropped about 40 cents here, reclaimed all that back. Hold on, let me. It reclaimed all that back at the open. So we should have anticipated a drop.
And that's how this was able to happen so quickly.
Knowing that this is like a dollar mover, $1.50, $2 mover at times. Yeah, for it to pop up 50 cents was asking just a little bit too much. So we needed for this to drop some more gas, which it's currently doing right now. But in order for it to get a pop, so what it'll do is it'll drop half of what it did pre-market, which it did, because pre-market was 46.20. So yeah, so right about there would have been a decent level right here. But that's okay. So we know that Neo is still a good stock. So we see it keeps going further down. It's probably going to be on the oversold scanner.
I know law enforcement is coming, but I don't want people near this vehicle. So then you shift in your search for motivation. You have to shift.
Not yet. All right. So let's see where Neo is at right now as far as support goes. So that level of support would be.
Charge a subject with. This subject is deceased. So it's not about charging anymore. Instead, the search for motivation is really to help understand.
Right there. That's going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 days. And then we go back on the 10. The next level of support would be.
When we assess an event for domestic terrorism nexus, it has to be tied to an ideology.
That level right there.
Use of force or violence in the furtherance of a political, social ideology, or that we have to.
Why do we have those parameters?
Yeah, I think people need to understand that there's actually a legal definition of terrorism for purposes of criminal statutes, and I know social media is exploding right now with, well, if this person were a person...
Wow, what a tidal wave down, huh? DKNG also. So let's see if we get those bounces. Again, if this was any other stock, I would have cut my losses a long time ago. I would have caught it. I would have cut it around here, this level here. This being my stop loss. But because it's Neo, I'm okay holding it. I mean, I'm down a lot right now.
That's a mouthful, and it requires you to really understand why someone did something. Timothy McVeigh, you'll recall, in the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, he did it because of an anti-government, anti-federal ideology. He wanted to take out that symbolic federal building and kill federal employees. It's very different than what we may have here. Time will tell what this is all about.
Frank Capuzzi, it's so good to talk to you on this. Thank you very much. After the break, hospitals are at capacity and healthcare workers are exhausted. We'll take you to Los Angeles, which is handling a major surge as vaccine distribution enters its third week. Plus, Virginia Congressman Jerry Connolly joins me live when he says about increasing those checks to Americans to $2,000.
Keeping your oyster business growing.
KULR.
You need to hire. I need Indeed.
KULR.
Sponsor a job on Indeed. You get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Claim your $75 credit when you post your first job at Indeed.com/Rob.
Huh.
Isn't that Frank Thomas?
Horrible fucking stock.
Wow, Frank Thomas.
Hi, how's it going?
All right, so now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're way down there.
I discovered eugenics.
I wish my husband did.
It's easy. Just send a text.
If you're a guy over 40, text READY to 321-321 to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Eugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Eugenics is a unique man-boosting formula. A patented
4366.
testosterone levels to help you feel stronger, later, with more energy and drive, more passion too.
Here, try a bottle. And trust me, she'll like it too.
Text READY to 321-321 to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenics Thermo, our most powerful fat and super ever. The key ingredients to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's READY to 321-321.
I put a line there because that line makes me $3 down. Puts me $3 down. Laser selling off hard. All these stocks are gonna have a nice bounce tomorrow. Watch. If not, maybe later on today. But so we know DKNG can definitely bounce back from where it's at. So I mean, you know, it's insane what these things are doing. Look, this is DKNG. Look at that sell-off, and look at Neo sell-off. Insane. One of the reasons why we trade these stocks that have character, they tell us a story, is for the same reason.
Takes a different kind of technology partner. One who's always in your corner and who understands that shared goals are the only ones that matter. And providing that kind of partnership is what we're built to do. Spectrum Enterprise.
Happy holidays from everyone at Nipton Westlake Mazda. And for people looking for a special gift, take advantage of Mazda's Season of Inspiration amazing holiday offer. We're offering 0% APR financing with no payment for 90 days and $1,000 bonus cash on the best-selling Mazda CX-5. Or lease the new 2020 Mazda CX-5 for just $139 per month. But hurry, 2021 models arriving daily. Shop in store or online at NiptonWestlakemazda.com.
I think we can all collectively agree that 2020 sucked. Hi, I'm Yaya, founder of Truebill. Let's make 2021 better, starting with your finances. Truebill shows you a clear picture of your accounts, cancels unwanted subscriptions, and lowers bills by up to 20%. Download Truebill today.
What if you could cook amazing food with
What a bummer.
every night? Brava simplifies the art of cooking.
Well, my threshold is 3 days. You know that already. So this needs to sell for me on the third day. If not, I'll take that loss. But it's Neo, and I know Neo's going to go up. And even at the price that I got in at, it's still reasonably cheap.
Busiest day of air travel since the COVID crisis started. California, now the U.S. epicenter, is bracing for a catastrophe. In Los Angeles County, where someone dies.
So I do like the fact that my stop, even though these trend lines move, I do like the fact that it's still right here, so it's still reachable, because we know that stocks can definitely go from here to from where it's at, going way past oversold to this overbought area here. So. With stocks like this, I feel comfortable holding like that because I know the history of the stock. Now, if it was any other stock, I would have cut my losses, pretty quick. Like Wish. Wish, for example, is not a stock that. So if Wish would have went the wrong way for me when I got in, I would have cut my losses pretty quickly. To be honest with you. Because I don't know if it'll keep going down or up. The hopes of it going up. It did open at a decent level. So one of the things also, guys, is if you're looking at a few stocks, you know, maintain those stocks. If you jump back and forth, and that's when FOMO kicks in. So, in hindsight, I should have just stuck with Wish instead of switching over from Laser. Laser did sell off, and then had a nice dollar pop right here. But if we're looking to get in and out in the first 15 minutes, Wish probably would have been our bet. Neo was, we tried to do that with Neo, but Neo decided to say, nah, I'm not going to give you that run today. I'm not going to do this. Look, because this is where, from here to here is where I wanted to sell that. Well, a little bit up here.
They're starting to go out more to long-term care facilities. So how's it going where you are?
36 states today, Lindsay. 36 states in Washington, D.C. long-term care facilities are going to begin.
Yeah, right there. That's where I wanted to sell it. Yeah, right there. Gonna give me that pop. So today's one of those days where the strategy kind of worked in some spots and then kind of didn't work in some other spots. So that's all right. We're currently here right now. So higher lows and lower lows. This is what Neo is doing right now. DKNG is doing the same thing. DKNG looks like it's stair stepping back up. Wish is maintaining that level that it reached. Laser keeps dropping for us. Where are you at? Yeah, keeps dropping.
Ice chest essentially to send out these vaccines. Chrissy, how many vials do you have in there? About 18 vials, and there's about 6 vaccines out of every vial. Is that right? And so you're heading to a facility right now to go and vaccinate.
Baba.
We've been waiting all these months for this moment.
Yes, they have about 100 people lined up to vaccinate.
Now it's just trading sideways. This thing might go down a little bit, or might continue to, it's already went up $10, so I don't think it'll go up anymore. Maybe another 4. And then Zoom. We're looking at Zoom. Zoom curling back up after that sell-off from the low of 353 to a high of 361 from its low. Our strategy would have told us to get in here on this candle. So about a $2.50 run. Not bad.
To send out these vaccines to facilities like this, and then go out and administer them inside of these facilities. This is a big day in America, Lindsay.
Absolutely. This is the first time that I'm seeing those boxes of vials just being put in the bed of someone's truck in some of those rural areas. She's armed with coffee and a cup holder. She's going to make the day of about 100 people. Vaughn Hilliard, Megan Fitzgerald, thank you both so much. Let's bring in now Dr. Amish Adalja, a senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. So Dr. Adalja, let's talk first about what Megan was talking about in the crisis in California. Preparing for this holiday surge upon a surge. So for the nearly 1.3 million people who passed through American airports yesterday, what do they need to do now? How long should they quarantine, and when should they get a test?
Everybody that traveled during this holiday really needs to think of themselves as being significantly exposed.
All right, markets are still green, I believe. Yeah, markets are still green. Looks like DraftKings is going to make its move before Neo does. Neo tried to come up here, try to make a little comeback. And it's like, nah, I'm not going to give you that satisfaction. I'm gonna trade around this area for a hot minute before I go back up. So I believe that Neo has found its bottom for today, which is here. So from this point, I believe Neo will go here to this line here. I believe it'll reach. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an alert here at or above, and then I want to see it pass this level too. Once it starts passing these levels, I know it'll start to go back up. So I wanted to pass the support on the deviation, and I wanted to pass the resistance on the deviation. Once it passes support on the deviation, then I know that we're clear on a clear upswing, and then maybe it'll trade around that level for a minute. But also knowing that it can definitely reach, as we can see here, every single time it has passed. Well, it did reach this level once, but it does reach that level. So, well, it already reached it today. So, but it went down and reached it. Okay, yeah. So, if it reaches 4650, then we might see a nice pop more after hours going up. So, I believe NEO's reached its bottom for today. I do also believe that DKNG has reached its bottom for the day, and I do believe DKNG will do the same thing. So we're going to hold on to NEO for about a day or so. I might up my trigger, depending where it closes. If it closes close to where I want to sell it at, then I will definitely up my trigger for the next day. So I'll probably do like $1 trigger on that, depending where it's at. So seeing where DKNG is at now, so knowing that this can definitely move $2 from where it's at, so I would say that once it passes the support line, okay, we can see a nice pop back up here to the average line. So we'll do an average alert as well. So once we get an alert that it passes this, then it can definitely come up to here, to back to the support, to the resistance line. So it breaks this, then we're in a nice pop. So I believe that the highest it'll go is maybe the average, maybe back up to the resistance line. I think that will do today. And NEO, I think, is going to do the same thing. So I believe NEO will definitely reach the support level right here. I also believe that it'll reach this average line right here. So those are the 3 lines it needs to pass in order for this to have a nice upswing.
My hygienist cleans with a round head. So does my Oral-B. My hygienist personalizes my cleaning. So does my Oral-B. My hygienist uses just the right pressure. And so does my Oral-B.
Oral-B combines a dentist-inspired brushing with the gentle energy of micro-vibrations for the wow of a professional clean feel every day.
My mouth says, wow. And so does my Oral-B.
I kind of hope it doesn't reach my trigger, to be honest with you, today. Because I would like to hold on to this. And not just for $1 run. I'm going to go for like a $2, $50 run. So I'm willing to hold on to this for 2 days. For sure, for sure, for sure.
Behind every question is a story waiting to be discovered.
Most mobile providers make you get multiple lines to get their best price. But what if you don't need multiple lines? With Spectrum Mobile, you don't have to get more to save more. You'll get our best price on every line.
Alright, so we're feeling good with NEO today. Again, if it was any other stock, I definitely would have took it off that 52 trend line bounce. So if we take a look at DKNG, what we have done, let's see. So it did open a little too high.
Technology during the holidays. And nothing has more fun technology than
I wouldn't have got there. I would have waited for it to drop to hit at least this level. Then I would have waited. So I would have got into DKNG maybe here. But it would have been way too late for me to look at since I tried to get into these stocks in the first 5 minutes. NEO was the first stock that gave you that indication because we weren't looking at Wish. We should have left Wish on the charts because Wish did open at the average and NEO opened at resistance. But I got it because of the bounce. I was waiting for that bounce. Stick with your plan. That's what happens when you don't stick with your plan.
Visit Brava.com for more information.
We're
keeping a close eye on Capitol Hill, where the House is set to vote today to direct more than triple those direct payments to Americans to $2,000. And it comes after the president signed into law that $2.3 trillion spending bill, funding the government through September, and unlocking $900 billion in coronavirus-related aid. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Jerry Connolly from Virginia. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Happy holidays.
My pleasure. Happy holidays to you as well.
Thank you. I want to bring up something that you said on Twitter, and you call the president's actions of sitting on that bill while people waited for aid and then signing it, getting nothing in return, playing, quote, Russian roulette with American lives. How worried have your constituents been over this? Is their benefits either run out or already have?
I think the anxiety was very high. There was great relief when Congress finally came together and passed on a big bipartisan vote the COVID-19 relief bill, only to have everything thrown into a cocked hat by the president's reckless speculation that he might not sign the bill because it wasn't enough. Even though, by the way, his administration was a full party to the negotiations, and in fact, it came out of Secretary Mnuchin's suggestion that the payments be at the level of $600. Democrats wanted it higher. So I think everybody was taken aback, but more importantly, it just added a layer of terrible angst during the holiday season for people who are facing eviction, people who are unemployed, people who are worried about putting food on the table, and let alone people who are looking forward to the vaccination, and there's lots of money in this bill for the distribution and administration of the vaccine, as you just reported. To threaten all of that while he's playing golf in his resort in Florida is really playing, as I said, Russian roulette with American lives.
Jake Sherman with Politico summed up the president's chaotic weekend as a neat encapsulation of his relationship with Congress. He never cared to understand the place and was disengaged from its work. Has that been your experience as a member of Congress?
Yeah, I think all of us, frankly, kind of roll our eyes. We know that Trump really isn't the factor. He can inject himself, as he just did. But he's not the one negotiating. He's not the one who follows details. Some of the criticism he lobbed at this composite bill, ironically, was about dollar amounts, for example, in foreign aid, that his administration suggested. He picked on Egypt specifically. Well, Egypt is part of the Camp David Accord. That amount for Egypt has frankly been around for decades. The fact that he doesn't even know what's in which bill and what his own administration recommended for action that Congress honored really shows how disengaged this president is from his day-to-day responsibilities.
Congressman, Senator McConnell credited the president in his statement, saying that the president's leadership has prevented a government shutdown at a time when our nation could not have afforded one. Meanwhile, the Washington Post puts it really differently. Trump's final economic act in office could be to block an emergency relief package negotiated by his Treasury Secretary, even as the U.S. economy is battered by a surge in coronavirus cases and a new wave of shutdowns. Which of these is closer to reality?
I certainly think Mitch McConnell is nowhere near reality. I mean, that's really chutzpah. Look, there are real victims from Trump's decision to hold off. There are 14 million unemployed Americans who are now going to find their support interrupted, and they're going to have to reapply for that insurance in the next few days.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go out for my my jog. So it looks like we took an early start with Neo. The setup didn't pan out for us. We ended up going down about $2 from where we're at, which is quite all right. It's in the realm of yesterday's trading session. As we can see here, went a little past that. So the low that it reached today was the low from
people are suffering, people are in need, so let's bump that amount up to make a difference in American families who are in real pain and suffering.
10 days, 12 days.
Will the Grim Reaper
12 days ago.
Allow his colleagues in the Senate to vote their conscience, to vote their constituents' needs.
So,
going to stay
no, actually, no, right over here. Yeah.
absolutism.
No, actually, that low was from
It took so long to get to an agreement on
9 days ago. So where it went. And from those 9 days, on that day, from 4386, it went to 4628. And then the next day, it went to 4742. So, in 2 days. And the third day, it went all the way to 49. So, I don't know. We'll see what it ends up going today. If it gets close, say like if it trades around here, I believe it'll surpass all these marks going up. If it reaches the 4650 mark, the next day I will close my trigger at the bell and then up my trigger, because then these lines have moved down. So yeah, that's what we'll do.
To support a strong immune system, your body needs routine. Centrum helps your immune defenses every day with vitamin C, D, and zinc. Season after season. Base your immune support with Centrum.
So I don't mind holding on to stocks. My threshold is 3 days, so we'll see. If I'll take the loss on the third day. So we've been doing real good for the whole month. Following our strategy. We broke the rules once or twice. We didn't break a rule today. I didn't buy on the first candle. The only thing I didn't do was I just didn't really follow my strategy. Really didn't. Because I was anticipating the bounce off this 52-week trend line, this purple line, to go for 50 cents. It did reach close to that right here, which is like 40 cents on just one bar. So we didn't come too far. Then we got in right here. So we were expecting for this to come up to at least this level right here, right there, about 2 cents up from where I want to sell that right now. So it could have done that. And then at this point we were right here, so it could have reached I was anticipating this to go to overbought as it did over here, and it didn't do that for us today. And then we could have waited, but in hindsight, like I mentioned, you see all this price action from 1 in the morning to 4 in the morning back to the open. So it made a nice dollar run, lost half of that, reclaimed half of that. So being that that's right there, we could have expected this to drop a little bit before we got in, not anticipating this whole drop right here, because it did drop a little hard today. But anyway, we could have got in and out right there like we did the other day, where we anticipated the bounce off of the support, which was being our support, 45.81. The other day we went ahead and took that red to green bounce off the support, a little away from it, but close enough for me to say I'm going to get in. I would have got in here and got out here. So we should have just done that. So what I did was I put myself a note right here saying, be more patient. So I have all these notes that I have on my computers that I look at every day as reminders for stuff that I need to remember. But anyway, so we're here. It's okay. NEO's a stock I don't mind holding. I see there's quite a few stocks that I trade and don't mind holding. So in the current position it's at. So I do try to trade stocks that have been trading a little bit lower, trading sideways with an indication that it's going to go up. And if it happens to go down, it won't go down that much. But definitely the recovery of that stock is definitely a nice recovery. Most of the stocks I trade do that. They have character. That's the story they tell. So they all do that. Every fucking one of them. At least the ones I trade currently. Until they tell me otherwise. That's why we have an array of stocks that we choose to trade. NEO being the home run stock for us for about a week and a half. I do believe NEO is going to keep being a home run until it gets way too high. But trading where it's at right now, I think it's still a good price. We are $2 down, $2.20 down from what we bought in, $2.30. So being this pink line right here is where I got in. So we're quite a ways from there. And this is where I wanted to sell. So we'll end up holding this for a couple days. Maybe I think I'll tell a $1.25 run for the next day, for tomorrow, depending where it opens at. But if they get close to my trigger, like at least in this area here, the next day I'm definitely gonna up my trigger instead of taking this little run. Alright guys, that's it for me. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go for my jog and get ready for my day. Alright guys.